everyone, welcome back to the People Mover Travel YouTube channel. We are here today with me and all of my Brady Bunch siblings to talk about the amazing character dining options at Walt Disney World, which is a really fun topic. My name is Cheyenne Broyles. To my right, I have Miss Jordan, I have Stephanie, I have Arlina, and then would you look at that? Tyler Braun I have in this video. Isn't that crazy? We are also excited to chat with you guys today about all the awesome character dining options at Walt Disney World. There are so many. We actually had a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out how to categorize these best for you guys, but I think we nailed it. I am going to start off by having each of my Brady Bunches share about a different category of character dining options. They're going to kind of go over a few of these restaurants, the location of where the restaurant is, obviously what characters you can see there, which I know is usually what most people are looking for, especially if you've got a little one who's really into Aladdin and they have to find where to see Aladdin. We will tell you where to find these specific characters. They're going to talk about the cuisine of that restaurant, the price point, and then a little bit about if it's included in the dining plan or what that might mean. So, drum roll, please. We are going to start with Magic Kingdom Park, and Miss Stephanie is going to kind of go through some of the options there. So I will hand it over.
Alrighty. So yeah, we're going to start at Magic Kingdom, which I think is arguably the best place to start a Disney World vacation. So I think it makes sense to start here. So I'm going to start at the front of the park, which is going to be Crystal Palace. If you are walking down Main Street, that is going to be kind of immediately on your left as you come to the end of Main Street. So if you see Casey's Corner, it's literally right next door. So very easy to find. It's one of my personal favorites. So Crystal Palace is a great place if you are a fan of Pooh and Friends, as this is their dining option. It is a buffet style. It is probably one of the more affordable character dining options, especially for a buffet. You can go there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have characters at all three meals. Breakfast is going to be the least expensive option. So if you are on a budget, but you still want to do a character meal, this is a great option. It's going to be $52 for adults and $33 for children. Lunch and dinner are the same price. They're $62 for adults and $42 for children. And there you can meet Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, and Tigger, and it's lovely. They have like the whole like atmosphere there is just really cute, so would recommend. From there, I'm going to take us to Cinderella's Royal Table, which is in the castle. So if you have some princess fans in your life, I think Cinderella's Royal Table, it is one of the more expensive options, but it is a really magical experience because you're in the castle. Cinderella's Royal Table is a prepaid experience, so if you do want to dine there, they will charge you up front. You can still use the dining plan there, but they're still going to charge you up front. And then when you get there, you will talk to your server and they will kind of reverse it and then put it on your dining plan. It's 2 dining credits, so I don't know if it's necessarily the best use of your dining plan, but you know, it is an option if that's something you're worried about. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner there as well. Breakfast is a little bit less expensive. At breakfast, you can meet. The rotation of princesses can vary from day to day, but generally speaking, it's going to be Cinderella, Ariel, Aurora, and Snow White. That's going to cost $74 for adults, $45 for children. And then lunch and dinner, typically the princesses are going to be Cinderella, Jasmine, and Snow White, and that's going to run $88 for adults and $52 for children. It's an individual entree, so typically you'll get your entree and then I believe it's an appetizer and dessert. It might be appetizer or dessert depending. I think maybe it's breakfast and it's breads at breakfast. And then finally, we'll go back into Fantasyland at Be Our Guest, which isn't a true character dining experience. This is kind of a little bonus option if you have a Beauty and the Beast fan in your life. They only serve lunch and dinner there currently. And the only character that you'll see is the Beast, but it's his castle. So of course he's going to be there. It's not a true interaction. He kind of just saunters around, you know, makes his way around his castle, kind of waves, that sort of thing. It is also an individual entree and you're going to get an appetizer, entree, and dessert there. It runs $72 for adults, $42 for children, and it is 2 dining credits on the dining plan.
You already talked about my favorite, so I can get that off of my list, but Crystal Palace is, in my opinion, One of the
More
best
love for
character dining.
Crystal Palace. It's so
It's
underloved. It deserves all the love.
it's so precious. Those characters are so precious. Like I was a big Pooh and Friends kid, like growing up,
My shirt
but I
has
just
Winnie the Pooh on it.
And there's
you
something about it.
cannot.
I don't know what it is that it seems so like 90s Disney to me, and I can't explain it other than that. It gives me all the feels of being there like as a kid.
Yeah. It
It's
was
so
my first ever
perfect.
Disney World dining experience. Like I literally for day one in the park, first thing we did it like a 7:30 reservation. It was perfect. We got there, nobody's on Main Street. It was the best. And I think if you have, I mean, I wasn't a kid, I was a full-on adult. So it's good. If you have kids, perfect. If you don't, perfect. Just, it's awesome. I love it.
So my uncle is a hardcore Crystal Palace fan and he strategizes with it. His move is that if you get the latest available breakfast reservation, it's a buffet, right? Like you can all you eat. And so you get the best of both. Like they'll transition the buffet over to the lunch and dinner menu. So if you get there like 30 minutes before the breakfast service ends, then you get a little breakfast and then you get a little lunch. So there's a little hack for you.
I've done that at Tusker House too.
So smart.
You know what's
Hmm.
up. This is a perfect
Great
segue.
idea.
Speaking of Tusker House, we're going to jump to our other theme park character dining experiences that house a few little options in some of the other great theme parks. Miss Arlina, all the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start in Epcot and we're gonna go all the way to the Norway Pavilion. And I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's Akershus. It is a Norwegian-inspired family style dining experience. This restaurant does take 2 table credit on the dining plan, so that's something to keep in mind. They do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All 3 are family style. And you can meet the princesses here, and you can meet up to 5 princesses. And it's some variation of Tiana, Rapunzel, Snow White, Ariel, and then Belle sometimes, and Aurora. So I think they do rotate some of them, but you're at least going to meet 5 princesses. For breakfast, it's pretty much like typical breakfast food, even though it says it's Norwegian inspired. The only thing I actually had this breakfast in my most recent trip in October, and it was pretty typical: eggs, yeah, bacon, sausage, fruits, pastries, and stuff like that. The only thing that I noticed that was different was the Norwegian waffles, which were actually amazing and delicious. I don't know what they put in them, but they were better than regular waffles. So. Yes, it was really great. I do recommend the breakfast if you have picky children, because the lunch and dinner, it is more Norwegian inspired, like a lot of meats, salmon, vegetables, chicken, and they do offer dessert for lunch and dinner as well. It's also family style. And like I said, 2 table credits for the dining plan. And then the pricing for breakfast is $59 for adults and $39 for children, plus tax and tip. And then lunch and dinner is $69 for adults and then $46 for children. Now, this is a great option if you don't get Cinderella's Royal Table. I think Akershus is an amazing option. It usually has a little bit more availability. Sorry about that. And yeah, I think it's great. I think the food is better than Cinderella's Royal Table personally. So it might be an unpopular opinion. I actually prefer it. And then the inside does look like you're eating in a castle. So a lot of times when clients are not able to get Cinderella's Royal Table, I tell them like Akershus is a great option. And I think it's really worth the value. Like the value is great because you get to meet 5 princesses. And it's not everywhere that you can do that in just one sitting of a meal. So I think it's a great option. Then we are going to go to the front of Epcot, all the way to the Land Pavilion, to Garden Grill, one of my favorites, also super underrated in my opinion. So Garden Grill has Chip 'n Dale's Harvest Feast, and it is in the land. Well, it's kind of, I mean, you could say it's kind of part of the ride, or it rotates the actual restaurant very slowly. And it does show you different scenes from the land, which to me is amazing because it's my favorite at Epcot. And you can see all the sights and all the smells, and the noises and all that stuff. It's just really great. If you're a land stan like I am. And then I also think the food is actually really, really good. It's served family style as well. It's they call it American fare. But they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The breakfast is also your typical breakfast: eggs, bacon, waffles. They do have Mickey waffles here if that's something that you really want. And then they have their famous, they call it the backyard skillet steak, I believe. They do serve it for all 3 meals, and it's really, really great. I'm not someone who eats a lot of red meat, but this one is really, really great. The characters that you'll meet are Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale, and they're dressed in their farmer gear. Mickey has overalls, it's really cute. For lunch and dinner, it's cornbread, salad. I don't know what they put in the dressing in that salad, but it's really good. And I believe that the lettuce and all the vegetables they use in the salad are taken from the land, which I think is really cool, again, because I love the land. And then they have like turkey, green beans, and mac and cheese, which is really amazing. This is a great option if you have like children who are picky eaters. They'll have like their mac and cheese option. And then for lunch and dinner, I didn't want to forget this part. They do serve something called their farmer's seasonal pie, which is it can be anything from like apple pie, cherry pie, and I think they have another one I have never tried, but they do change it seasonally. And then the pricing is 1 table credit for the dining plan, and then breakfast is $49 for adults, $33 for children, and then lunch and dinner is $62 for adults, $42 for children. I think, again, in my opinion, super underrated. It's really easy to get a reservation here. Last time I went, I actually walked up without a reservation and got seated, no wait time. The characters came around like 5 different times, which, it was for my kid, he was in like heaven. For adults who are like me, who are a little more awkward with the character interactions, I was like, oh, let me think about what I can say next. But it was great. It was really great, and I think it's a great option for meeting characters as well. The next one, we're gonna go to Hollywood Studios now, and it's Hollywood and Vine, and this is an oldie but a goodie. It's a buffet. I used to go there when I was 8, 9, 10 years old in the 90s, and it's pretty much still looks the same. Which I think it's great because, again, that nostalgia just hits you as soon as you walk in. They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a buffet, like I said. Now, this one is a little different for characters in terms of, for breakfast, you're always going to have what they call the Disney Junior Play and Dine. So this is where you'll be able to meet some of the Disney Junior stars that are not, I guess they're unusual. Like you don't meet them I guess you can meet them at the dance party, but it's Vampirina, Doc McStuffins, Fancy Nancy, and then they have Goofy, which I think is the random characters right there. I guess it's in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but my son and my niece, we just went there this last trip. They loved it because they watched all the shows, so it was great. It was a great interactions with the characters. Again, it's a buffet, and then the breakfast is waffles, eggs, omelet station, bread, pastries, all that stuff, cereal station. And then for lunch and dinner, they have what's called mini seasonal dining. Now, as far as I know, the actual like seasonal part of it is only Halloween and Christmas. So like for Halloween, you will meet some variation of the Fab Five with their Halloween, with a Halloween costume. And then during Christmas, you'll meet them with their Christmas outfits. The rest of the year, I believe you meet them with their like everyday outfits. And the buffet is just typical American fare. So meat, a carving station, vegetables, bread, salads, sides. They always have a kid station at all the buffets with, chicken tenders, fries, mac and cheese, all that stuff, desserts galore. And the pricing for this one, I think I mentioned already, it's 1 table service. The breakfast is $49 for adults, $33 for children, and then the lunch and dinner are $63 for adults and $42 for children. Again, oldie but a goodie. It's very easy to get reservations here, usually. The last one we're going to talk about is at Animal Kingdom. Another favorite is Tusker House. It is in the Africa area of Animal Kingdom, and this is an African-inspired buffet. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You will meet also, it's usually Mickey, Daisy, Donald, and then I've seen it where it's like Minnie, and then I've also seen it where it's Goofy and no Minnie. So some variation of that. They're dressed in their safari gear, really cute. They have pog juice here, although I think they've been serving pog juice at most buffets or most dining locations now, but I know it used to be like a thing where like people were like looking for that famous pog juice. I think they call it jungle juice here or something like that. Um, anyway, one table service credit here, and then breakfast is 49 for adults, 33 for children. Typical breakfast, eggs, omelet station, waffles, bacon, oatmeal, all that stuff. And then for lunch and dinner, it is more, they have more like African flavor inspired meats and sides, salads. They will have a kid station as usual with the typical chicken tenders and mac and cheese. That one is 64 for adults and 42 for children. Again, this one is also a goodie. It's very easy to get reservations here. The restaurant itself is huge. It's got like 2 different rooms. And so this is a great option for meeting characters as well.
I had one note that I wanted to share with people. When we say children, Disney classifies a child as age 3 to age 9, which I know can confuse some people. That is what they are qualifying as like a child's price for dining. So keep that in mind when we're mentioning these prices.
And
Okay.
anyone under 3 can like eat off of your plate, basically. So like they'll eat at buffets for free. And then like if you have an adult entree, then they can just like eat off of your own plate. So you don't have to pay anything for younger kids.
And for family style, I also forget, like you can always, when you go to family style restaurants, you can always ask for more of something if you want. So like if you finished your whatever, your meat in your skillet, you can ask for more of it.
Disney trademarked the all you care to enjoy. I don't know if they actually
Exactly.
did, but that's their favorite thing to say.
Listen, I mean, you're paying for it, you might as well, right?
Okay, so we are actually going to jump to some resorts now. Now that we've done some theme park dining options, let's go to Epcot resort options. Tyler, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to talk about 2 of my favorites here, and the first one is Cape May Cafe, and this is a really good one because I feel like there's some that need a little updating and that kind of stuff, and this one is in the category of sort of like the Hollywood and Vine and stuff, where it's like almost walking back in time, and I love going in there and seeing them, and they have like these cute like beach outfits and stuff like that on the characters. It's great. So it's Cape May Cafe at Disney's Beach Club, and it's right really in between Beach Club and Yacht Club, so they're both right there. It's also easily accessible from Boardwalk and all that kind of stuff. But Cape May Cafe is great. It's a buffet. They only do the character dining for breakfast. They do have dinner there, but it's not character dining, so we won't talk about that. But for character, they do have breakfast there, and they call it Minnie's Beach Bash, and it's everyone in the Fab Five except for Mickey. I don't know why Mickey's not there. He's just like missing from this one, and it just seems so odd to me. But they're all like dressed in like turn of the century, like old vintage beachwear and stuff like that. So for breakfast, it's a buffet. They have all your typical fixins. They also have what they call salted caramel beach buns with vanilla sauce, which, if I remember right, they were like unbelievable. They were so good. And I also remember they had a really good omelet station here. And as somebody who's a big omelet fan, I think I maybe even had like 2 or 3 of them. They were really good. Now, for a while, when 1900 Park Fair was closed, they had that famous strawberry soup here. I don't know if that's always available, but if you're there and they have it, you should definitely try it. They always have it at 1900 Park Fair, and now that that's open again. But if you have not had it, it is very, very good. So then they, of course, have like assorted drinks, cocktails, all that kind of stuff, even for breakfast. $49 per adult, $33 per child, and that's 1 dining credit for that. So pretty standard breakfast kind of stuff there. Now we're going to go over to, I'm not going to give away what my favorite one is, but my favorite one is Topolino's Terrace, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So you guys, Topolino's Terrace is so good. You don't need, because here's the thing. The food is incredible. The characters are awesome, but you also add in this like insane view where you can see like the back of Epcot. You can see like this. It's amazing. So I mean, you could go there even without characters and have an amazing breakfast. So it's kind of gone through the gamut where it started with like a regular menu. Then for a while it was family style. Right now it's prefix. So they're going to bring out these pastries and stuff when you very first sit down, and the pastries are all like noticeably good. I feel like sometimes you get the pastries and they're a little stale and they kind of taste like they baked that staleness right into them. These are actually all really good. And then you get to pick an entree from the menu as well. I know that the eggs Benedict was fantastic there. They also had steak and eggs that was really good, but they've got a whole bunch of things that you can pick there. And everything tastes a little bit fresher because it's, not sitting on a buffet. So all the food there is really good. And they call it specifically the breakfast a la art, which is cute, with Mickey and friends. So all of them are going to be here. So I know Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy are pretty much always there. And I've seen Goofy and I've seen Pluto, but I think they usually only have one or the other there. So I'm not sure. So you might get one of the two of them, but then Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy pretty much are always there. So they do their rounds, and then they also do like a little show in between, which is kind of cute. So some of the entrees you can pick are quiche Gruyere, had that too, also super good. Sour cream waffles, eggs Benedict, smoked salmon, eggs, and they've got tons more. It's the same price almost. It's $52 per adult, $33 per child. And then again, that's only for breakfast. They have a dinner there as well, but the character dining is only for breakfast. And then I also have sort of a little bonus one, which is Ravello, which is over at the Four Seasons, but that's sort of a rare one. So they only used to do it on Saturdays. As of right now, they're doing it on Thursdays and Saturdays, so be sure and kind of check and see how they're doing it. But only 3 characters meet there. It's Minnie, Mickey, and Goofy, and then it is a breakfast buffet there as well. So if you're desperate and you really want to try and get one and you can't find one at a normal Disney resort, on Thursdays and Saturdays, that could be another option for you as well.
My note about Topolino's is it's everyone's favorite. It's kind of hard to get a reservation, so make sure you have your friendly people mover travel agent's phone number in your pocket and you're calling them and you're saying, I need Topolino's, because we can help you get that, because it's very hard sometimes.
I also
Their
think the
outfits there
are
are
adorable.
they're
Yeah.
the best. They're the best outfits.
They're
And
the best
Mickey and
outfits.
Daisy
so
always
cute.
work it. Their dances are so cute. It is worth it just for that. Like
Yeah.
whoever is
And they
friends with
used
those
to.
characters there, so good.
I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to sell like those characters in the specific outfits in the gift shop. So if your kids are
They
like
do.
dying to have Minnie in her little outfit, it's in the gift shop.
They do. I
Of
actually
course.
got that mini for my niece with the little writer newspaper dress. It's really cute.
Well, and for a while, they even had like artwork with them in those outfits too. It's awesome. It's so good.
They know what they're doing there. They know
Yeah.
who they're appealing to.
And they're
It's
all
me.
different, like they're all different kinds of artists, right? Isn't like Daisy's a painter, or no, Daisy's a dancer,
The ballet dancer. Yeah.
and then one of them's
Yeah,
a painter, like, they all have-
Minnie's a writer. She has like newsprint on her, I
That's
think.
right. Okay,
And then Mickey's a painter, I think. And then
Donald's a sculptor.
Donald's a
Yeah.
It's
sculptor.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Last but certainly not least, I think some of the other fan favorites are going to be in Jordan's category, which is Magic Kingdom Resort Area Character Dining Experiences, which is quite a mouthful, but Jordan's going to straighten it out for us.
Did Disney write that for you because they like those super duper long sentences?
Yeah,
No.
they should do. But it's not as much of a mouthful as all of you care to eat dining experiences, if you know what I mean. So, yes, I'm really excited to talk about these. I feel like these are always on everyone's like must-do list, and they're all 4 of them are great options. So I'm just going to dive right in. We're going to start with the monorail resorts first. I'm just going to kind of work clockwise. The great thing about the monorail is that it is connected to Magic Kingdom. So if you want to like bounce out real quick for a meal and then get back in the park, it really doesn't take that much extra time to do so. So the first one I'm going to chat about is Chef Mickey's, which is located at Disney's Contemporary Resort. And this one is another Fab Five dining experience, but all the characters are dressed in these cute little like chef outfits with little hats and stuff like that. It's definitely a party vibe over in Chef Mickey's. I feel like if you're in the lobby of the Contemporary Resort, you can hear the party that is happening all the time. So here they do have breakfast and dinner. They're closed for lunch, and it's very much a traditional American style buffet. I feel like this is a great option for picky eaters. There's pretty much nothing on the menu that isn't approachable. So the typical pricing that they have at this one is the breakfast is cheaper, as you'll probably have noticed a trend by now. Breakfast always seems to be cheaper here for character dining. So breakfast is $58 per adult and $37 per child. And then the dinner is 69 per adult and 44 per child. And they do the dining plan as well, and it is only 1 credit for breakfast and for dinner, which is I think is a great use of a dining credit for sure. So all right, so hopping on the monorail, working our way south, we are going to Ohana, which is located at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. This one is a breakfast only. It is their best friends breakfast. Disney loves to name their little meal experiences. It's cute, very fun, creative department over there. So here you're going to find Mickey and Pluto and also Lilo and Stitch, which I think that this is one of the only opportunities to meet Lilo and Stitch in like a pre-designated area like this. I know Stitch roams around Magic Kingdom some, but it is nice to have a place that you're for sure going to see him. So the cuisine here, I also feel like is very approachable for picky eaters. A lot of like standard American breakfast, but they do have some like Hawaiian, Polynesian items as well, like Hawaiian ham with a pineapple compote. And this is kind of like the place to get the pog juice. I feel like it's the most famous spot for it. So if you're dying for a little passion fruit, orange, guava.
Guava. Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. I'm not a big juice person, I'm not gonna lie. But the last time I was at a Polynesian Village Resort, they had pog flavored macarons at the bakery. And my mind was kind of blown because I am a macaron girl. So, but I should probably know my acronyms before I pretend like I'm an expert in anything. So the pricing here is $53 per adult and 33 per child. And then it is also only 1 credit for the dining plan. I do feel like this one is really popular, probably because it is a great use of the dining credit. So again, if you want this one, like you got to get on it and make sure that you have someone who knows how to book things appropriately for you for your trip. The next one on our journey around the monorail loop is 1900 Park Fair, which Tyler has mentioned. It is located over at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, and it finally just reopened after a very long refurbishment. I feel like it closed down during the pandemic, and then it was like a multi-year thing before it reopened with all new characters that you can see. So, and these ones are actually pretty unique, I think. So we've got Aladdin in his Prince Ali attire, which love that scene. Love that. Cinderella, classic ball gown. Mirabelle in her iconic dress, and then Princess Tiana in her Tiana's Bayou Adventure themed attire, which I think is a great mix-up. I feel like the princesses only ever really show up in their ball gowns, which is a great look. But you know, sometimes the girlies just want to wear pants, right? So they're comfy. So the meals that they do at this restaurant are breakfast and dinner, no lunch service. So the food here, I will say, is also American. I feel like I keep repeating that for every restaurant that I've gone through on my list so far. But they do have some fun eclectic items, like Tyler talked about the strawberry soup, which I'm really not sure how I would feel about. Is it sweet? Like, is it more of a dessert?
It is
It's
very
basically
sweet.
a really thin smoothie, if I
Yes.
could really
Interesting.
simplify it. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there in October, and yeah, it's a smoothie
Yeah,
basically.
that's
Got
exactly. But
it.
it's cold. It's yeah, and it's
Mhm.
definitely
It's
cold.
like a gazpacho. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. But yeah, I wouldn't eat like a giant bowl of it, but like a little bit of it is very good.
I was perusing their dinner menu as well, and it looks like they serve Tiana's famous gumbo, which is super cool. And it has now maybe moved up on my priority list for my next Disney World trip. So I feel like the pricing here is pretty well in line with the other pricing that we've seen for the monorail resorts. So at breakfast, adults run at $58 per person and 44 per child. And then for dinner, it is 69 per adult and 37 per child. So and they do accept the Disney dining plan as well. It is 1 credit for breakfast and 1 credit for dinner. So keep it simple. Pretty good. So I do have one more on my list, not on the monorail loop, but maybe arguably the best of the bunch, in my personal opinion. So over at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, they have storybook dining at Artist Point, and you can get there from a boat ride from Magic Kingdom, which is great. It doesn't take super long to get there, straight from the theme park entrance. This one is themed after the glorious, gorgeous Snow White and all of her friends. So here you can meet Snow White, of course, plus Dopey and Grumpy. They're all the ones making the rounds at the tables. And then there is also an opportunity to have a photo with the evil queen, which is super fun. She was like the queen of sass more than evil. Honestly, she will dish it out. It was a good time.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
this meal is dinner service only And I thought the food here was actually really good. So it's a prefix menu. So everybody gets like an appetizer and an entree, and then it's an assortment of family style desserts that everybody kind of shares. It's I would describe it as like American comfort foods. I know Snow White is like German, I believe, and there are some like German touches here and there, but you can expect things like mushroom bisque, prime rib, and I love that they have the gooseberry tart on the menu as like a little tribute to the gooseberry pie that they do in the movie. My daughter is really obsessed with Snow White, so we're taking her here in January. I'm very excited. Um, so this one is it more expensive? No, it's about the same price as the dinner of the other ones. Okay, so the typical pricing here is 67 per adult and 41 per child, but it is more dining plan credits. So it's 2 credits instead of the other ones I've mentioned in this category are 1. So a little bit more out of pocket for the credits, but it is super fun. So I've given myself away. This is my favorite. I'm sorry.
The only thing I wanted to share, as I didn't have a category, but that's okay, I'm MC, is if you've never been to Disney World before and you're kind of confused as why there's so many character dining options, it's a really great way to meet characters without having to wait in line for 45 minutes to meet Mickey. This way you get to sit down, you get to have a drink, you get to eat, and the character is coming to you. You don't have to stand in line, you don't have to haul your butt anywhere. Most of the time they're going to come right up to your table. So that's why there's so many options, and that's why I usually recommend it to my clients, especially if you have kids and you don't want to add that into your day. You can check off dinner and you can check off your character photos in one activity. So just in case you've never been before and you're like, why are there so many? It's because it's awesome.
Because
Okay.
otherwise,
Did
if you want
anyone
to
have
meet
a
a princess, you're going to meet it like, Princess Fairy Tale Hall, and you're going to sit there to meet 2 of them.
2
You're
hours.
in for an hour, if not longer,
Yeah.
just to meet
Yeah.
2. So if you get to meet 5 and get a meal, that's a great deal.
As someone who's an avid, we only went to Disneyland growing up. I have not been to Disney World a lot. Character sightings are way more rare at Disney World than they are at Disneyland. They are walking up and down the street at Disneyland. So that's why there's so many options at Disney World. Because like I said, it's just a double whammy. It's just so great, especially if you're already eating. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I loved hearing about all these, and I think it, like Jordan said, it's moving some up on my list of like need to eat at these next. So if you are interested in planning your next Disney World trip or planning your next trip anywhere, we are going to put a QR code somewhere on the screen. It's going to be somewhere, you'll see it, where you can chat with one of our agents. We have so many great agents specialized in all kinds of destinations, and working with us is free, so we would love to have you. And make sure that you're subscribed to our channel. We have so many awesome videos coming out. It feels very weird for me to say that with Tyler here. Tyler, don't judge my subscribe chat. So thank you everybody for watching.
So you're good.
So it's a lot. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.